the Single Mom Podcast, episode 61. In today's podcast, I talk about the importance of being thankful every day, not just on a holiday.
This podcast is a proud member of Parents on Demand, a network of high-quality shows for families just like yours. Download our free network app on Apple and Android and listen to your favorite episodes on the go.
This is the Single Mom Success Podcast. Our mission is to help single moms find advice, support, ideas, and hopefully some humor along the way to help them navigate through this crazy single parenting gig and build the most amazing lives for themselves and their children. Please be sure to stop by thesinglemomblog.com for more great articles, free downloads, giveaways, and more. Now, let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome to the Single Mom Podcast. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastically. So I do apologize that this podcast is a little late. I've been trying really hard to stay on a routine of every other week or at least every 2 weeks having a podcast out, but I have not been feeling well. I've been sick, and I don't know if you can tell from my voice. It's a little bit lower and froggier than it normally would be. I tried to sit down and do a couple of podcast episodes, but ended up just coughing relentlessly throughout various parts of it, and it just became such a hassle, and it sounded terrible. So I just decided I'm gonna wait until I feel better, until my voice comes back a little bit better and I'm a little bit more consistent and I can get through multiple sentences without completely dying from a coughing fit. So it's working out so far. So again, I do apologize for there being a little bit of a delay on that. So anyway, I wanted to jump into today's topic. The holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving will be here before we know it. Christmas as well. I don't know about you. I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday ever. I personally just wish it was warmer. I'm a tropical type person. I like being warm. I'd rather be at a beach. If I could live at a beach forever and just be able to go out and hear the ocean and be on the sand and listen to the waves and feel the sun on my skin, I would be in heaven forever. That's my ideal. That's what I want for my future. Like, once my kids are grown, I've already told my kids, when you guys are older and you're on your own, I'm fairly certain I'm traveling. There's going to be a lot of traveling. I'm going to figure out how to make it happen. I'm going to travel where I don't, and of course my daughter's like, you'd go without us? I'm like, yes, I would. I love you. Of course I'll take trips with you. But at that point, you won't necessarily want to go on a trip with your mom. You'll be 18, 19, 20 years old, and, going on a vacation with your crazy mother is not necessarily what you want to do all the time. So, we'll still do trips ourselves, but I want to travel. There's lots of places I want to go, and I want to be able to go unimpeded. And no offense to my kids. I'm like, I love you guys. I really, really do. But I want to be able to be a person who can just say, okay, I'm grabbing my bag and I'm going. I don't have to check to see if anybody else is coming and do they have all their stuff. And I want to just be able to do that without, I just want to take care of me and not do that where I have to worry about other people. And am I still with my group? And do I have all my kids? Right? I just want to do that. So, and there's going to be a lot of tropical destinations in there somewhere. I know it. I have a whole list of places that I want to travel to, but most are tropical because I just love that. So, I'm the person who, when it snows and it gets cold, I just feel tired. I feel sluggish. I don't really want to do much. I don't want to leave the house too often. I just want to stay in bed with all my fuzzy blankets covered around me like a little Eskimo, my laptop, and just work and not really worry about, leaving and dealing with that. I don't want to drive in snow if I don't have to. I don't want to deal with people in the snow if I don't have to. I don't like being cold. I hate being cold. So, if Christmas came around and it only snowed on Christmas, and gave you that picturesque white Christmas, I'm good with that. I'd be totally happy with that. I swear that would be the best Christmas. And then everything goes back to being nice and warm and sunny. I'd be cool with that. So anyway, with the holidays coming up though, I with Thanksgiving predominantly, I think, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, we totally skip over Thanksgiving and Christmas comes out and all the decorations and stuff. I love the decorations. I love the lights and the tinsel and the twinkles and the glitter and the snowmen and all the lawn stuff. I love all of that. I love all of it. The kids and I, well, not so much the boys anymore. They got to that age where like, we're too old for that. But we get in the car and we get like hot chocolate. The kids would have hot chocolate and I would have coffee, and we drive around and we look at all the really cool lights on the houses, and we'd find the houses that, you know, we put up lights, but I'm also a single mom and I got to think about my, you know, electric bill budget. So I don't put up a ton of lights, but we go to those houses that like really go all out, where they put up so many lights and they all dance and they dance to music and they, you know, have the ornaments on, or the lawn ornaments and the things that move and the whole scenery things and the menageries and all that stuff. We go and we see all those houses and we just take a trip and we drive around looking for the beautiful Christmas lights, and it's fun, and we ooh and ah, and we're, you know, so I love doing that, and I love that part of Christmas. But Thanksgiving comes first, obviously, in the calendar, and everybody kind of talks about, like I said, how we sort of skip over Thanksgiving. And I wanted to talk about, with Thanksgiving coming up, just the idea of being thankful and gratitude, right? So, and the fact that it shouldn't be something that you do once a year around Thanksgiving time. You should practice gratitude and thankfulness all year round. And here's the reason why. So quite often as single parents, or really anybody, as human beings, right, we tend to get so wrapped up in our lives and the things that maybe are going wrong, or the things that we wish we had that we didn't have, or in all of the problems or stress or drama, you know, especially us as single parents, we tend to have a little bit extra on top of what everybody else has, right? We all struggle with bills and making enough money and raising our children and things of that nature, you know, not liking our boss or hating our job, or, you know, a lot of the things that, you know, everybody deals with. They're universal, right? Where everybody has these struggles. It's not selective to a certain group, but as single parents, we tend to have a little bit of more of a heightened level of stress. So, you know, while everybody worries about bills or money, as single parents, we maybe worry a little bit more because we only have a singular income, right? Or we may have an additional stress because, you know, our ex isn't paying child support like they're supposed to, or, you know, just whatever it is, or we, you know, have to pay for, we don't have a secondary parent who can help with childcare, so we have to deal with an extra expense potentially. Sometimes quite often single parents will work multiple jobs in order to make up for not having a secondary income, a person who helps with bills. So while we all struggle with the same sort of circumstances as single parents, ours are often heightened, right? When we have to deal with stress for our children, you know, our child's having issues, there's behavior problems or school issues or whatever the case may be. We're the only one managing that. There's nobody else to hand off to. So while we all have the same problems, again, ours may be a little bit more stressful or a little more heightened, or a little, you know, there's just that extra in them, right? For us as single parents. And so when we get, and it's just, and it's not something that happens, it's an all year round thing. It's not just things get tight during Christmas. It's worse during Christmas because you're trying to figure out, on top of all of the stuff that you have to take care of, now you're looking at, okay, I'm looking at having to buy gifts or try and do something for Thanksgiving dinner or things like that. So the holidays tend to get a little bit more stressful for single parents, especially because there's that added extra of, oh, now there's this additional expense. So we tend to just sort of all get wrapped up in all of that. Everybody does. But it's an all year round thing. So when Thanksgiving comes around, I oftentimes see people start posting, oh, I'm thankful about this. Like every day they start posting what they're thankful for until Thanksgiving comes. And while that's a great practice, to stop and remember to take time to be thankful, it should be something that you do every day. You should really actually think about this every day. And here's the reason, because we get so wrapped up in all of the stuff that we're struggling with, the things that we're missing or wish we had, or in our drive to accomplish all of these things that we want to do, or even just in the grind of making it through the day, that we don't take time to stop and really recognize what you do have, right? And just really be thankful and show gratitude on a daily basis in your daily life. So every day and I'm not as good at it as it's a practice. It's something that takes work. I never profess to be an expert on anything, because Lord knows I'm not. I'm not perfect in any aspect of anything, other than my imperfection. I'm perfect at my imperfection. That's it. So I try to remember every day to be thankful and show gratitude for something, right? And make sure to remember to appreciate everything that I can possibly appreciate. So, and it doesn't have to be saved for the big things, right? Being grateful for small things, right? Just small things. And even being grateful for things that maybe didn't occur to you to be grateful for, right? So for example, how weird does this sound? Being thankful for your bills. I know, that's weird, right? Because that's something where you're like, what? That takes my money, and it's hard, and I'm stressed out about paying them all the time, and sometimes they're late, and like, why would I be thankful for my bills? So it's not even necessarily being thankful for the bills, but when you get your bills, taking a moment to be, okay, yes, I have to pay this bill, and yes, that stresses me out, but I am thankful for the ability to pay it. I'm thankful that I'm able to pay it. I'm thankful that I have this bill, because that means I have electricity. It means that I have heat in my house. It means that I have a house, right? I'm thankful for my rent payment or my mortgage, because that means I have a home. And yes, I may be stressed out right now on how to pay it, or maybe things are behind, but I'm working on it, and I'm thankful that I'm able to work on it. I'm thankful that I am not here in the middle of winter, well, the beginnings of winter before it gets really dreadfully bad, but I'm thankful that I have somewhere to sleep, that I have this bill that, yes, I have to pay, but it's giving me heat, and I have heat, and my family has heat, and my children have electricity. And maybe, every day I don't know, I don't care where you live, every day you drive somewhere and you see someone who is hard on their luck for whatever their reasons are. I'm not even going to get into that, but for whatever reason, they have no home. They are sleeping on the streets. They have everything that they own in a car, or they have everything they own in a shopping cart, and they are begging for money. And at night when you go home, you're going home to a place that has lights and heat and a way to cook meals. That person does not. Be thankful for that every day, right? Be thankful about negative or difficult situations. And I know that that's really weird and that's really hard, because, we always look at it and go, I don't want to think about the bad stuff. Why would I be thankful for that? Why would I be thankful for that? Right? You got to stop and think about how those hard situations end up helping you. Okay? And I know that it's difficult. And I think what is it, that phrase or that saying, it's, your greatest teacher was your last mistake, right? Your last mistake was your greatest teacher. Your last hardship was the greatest thing that could potentially happen to you, because it gave you something. It helped you develop something, right? You didn't just have bad times just for bad times' sake. Somewhere in there you learned something, you grew, you developed something, whether it was you had a greater ability to be compassionate, right? From your hardships and dealing with what you've dealt with, now you have a better understanding of someone else's situation, and you can be a more compassionate person to them. Whereas before, maybe you wouldn't have been. I'll give you an example. I remember when I was a snot-nosed teenager and before I had children of my own, I remember very distinctly seeing people out in the world with their children. And watching a child throw themselves on the floor, throw a temper tantrum and blah, blah, blah. And I remember saying this to myself, and I'm pretty sure I said it to my friends or even family members. I said, you know what, God, I can't believe that mom is letting her child act like that. When I have kids, my child is never going to act like that. And I guarantee you, I don't care who you are, every mom out there, it's time to be real, gut check moment. You know, at some point in your life, you've said that too. Whether it was before you had kids or even after you had kids, you look at someone else and you go, I would never let my child do that. I can't believe that mom's doing that, right? We maybe try not to, but somewhere in their lifetime, you probably did. You probably did. And if you didn't, kudos to you. You're a better person than I am, okay? But at some point in my life, back when I was younger, 19, 20 years old, before I had kids, I totally was like, I would never allow my child to do that. I remember babysitting some family members for the summer, and all they would eat was, Hamburger Helper, mac and cheese, or Chef Boyardee. That was it. That was all they would eat, and they would only drink Kool-Aid. And I'm telling myself, I'm like, there is no way. When I have kids, I can't believe this is all these kids will eat. They won't eat anything else. When I have kids, and sandwiches. When I have kids, they're never going to do this, right? Oh my God, right? Fast forward to when I have kids, and not only kids, but kids with special needs. Now I can look at it and go, okay, my son is now the child who's laying down in the aisle throwing a fit. Now, and I had someone actually literally come up to me and say, you should discipline your child. Why are you letting him act like that? What's wrong with you? Why would you let him behave that way? I had a woman, and I went off on this woman. But, and I look at it and go, you know what? I remember doing that. Now, through my experiences, through the fact that I'm a single mom, through the fact that I've raised my children by myself, through the fact that I have a special needs child who would, especially during Christmas time, when all of the Halloween and Christmas, when the little, the inflatables that go out on your yard, okay? For years and years, my son has sensory issues, okay? So, but for a while he was nonverbal because of his brain injury. So he couldn't communicate well what was wrong with him. So literally I would put him, and it just through his whole toddler, infant to toddler years. So his sensory issues would be, at first it was putting him in the cart, the way the cart vibrated. Because the cart vibrated, it would freak him out and he hated it. And he would throw a fit. And then he got used to that. Then it was those things, anything that was larger than it should be in his mind. Santa Claus, I don't have any pictures of him. I think I have like one, and he was a baby and he was not happy of him with Santa Claus. He was terrified of Santa Claus, terrified of the Easter Bunny, anything that was bigger than what it should be in his mind. Those lawn things that you blow up, the inflatables, those things freaked him out for whatever reason it was. He did not like those things. And it took me, and it was a guessing game. Like you would go in and he'd start freaking out, and it was like, is it this? Is it that? Like, let me move the cart. If you move the cart closer to here, does he start freaking out more, or does he freak out less, right? Like, you've got to figure out what it is that's setting him off. But in the meantime, he's screaming bloody murder like somebody's stabbing him, right? So this is my kid now. And I see the looks, and I see the judgment from people, and I remember that I was that person, right? So as horrible and crappy as what happened to my son was, it taught me new levels of compassion. It taught me new levels of patience that I did not even know I could possess. It taught me new levels of understanding, right? So I'm not necessarily grateful for what happened to my son, but I am happy for the various things that I gained from it and the lessons that I learned and the skills and abilities that I have developed because of that. I have a greater understanding. So now if ever I see a child behaving that way in the store, the first thing in my mind is, I don't know their story. I don't know that child's story. I don't know that mom's story. That mom who is standing there while their child throws a fit in the middle of the store. Maybe that child has special needs. Maybe that mom is so exhausted from working 3 jobs that she just doesn't have it in her to deal with what that kid's doing right now, right? Who knows? But I know that I don't judge them anymore. And a lot of times I'll walk up and I'm, and try and help in some way. Or, I remember a lady coming up to me in the store one time when I was dealing with my son having a meltdown and I was just exhausted and just crying. And she walked up and she gave me a hug and she goes, "You know what, honey, it is okay. You are doing all right." And she looked at my son and she's like, and she just started talking to him and he stopped crying because he was like, "There's a person talking to me. There's a strange person talking to me and my mom's just okay with it. Like, what's going on here?" So, she's like, "Honey, you need to stop. It's okay. Everything's fine." And she just sat there and really soothingly talked to my son. And she's like, "Your mom, it looks like she's just real tired right now. And I think it would be awesome if you just kind of helped her out and calmed down a little bit." And she just was like, and she's like, "I hope you're okay with me doing this." I'm like, "I'm good." Whatever, thank you for the help, and then sweet lady, she's like, "Do you mind if I pray for you?" I'm like, "You know what, that's fine. I'm not religious, but I'm not a jerk. I'm not going to say, no, I don't need your prayers." Like, sure, because in reality, it helps her feel better. I appreciate the thought and the kindness of the gesture, right? So please do. That's fine. Pray for me. That's fine. I'm not religious, but I'm okay with that. That's cool. Thank you. I appreciate the thought. It means a lot to me that you would do that for me and I'm a stranger, So again, just be thankful and recognize that you're learning something. You're getting something from it. You may not know what it is at the time. But somewhere in there, the universe or God or whatever you want to believe in is helping you. You are learning something, you're getting something, you're gaining something from whatever struggle you're going through, right? So that's very important to remember. So being thankful for that. So again, it's not just once a year around Thanksgiving time when you're like, "I'm thankful for my mom, I'm thankful for my dad, I'm thankful for my family, I'm thankful for my job," or blah, 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 right? Be thankful for the things that you wouldn't even think about being grateful for. And practice it every day, they call it mindfulness, and without diving too deep into the woo-woos of the world, because I'm a little bit realist, I'm a little bit woo-woo-y, like I'm a weird duck, right? Like I believe in a lot of weird stuff. I believe in a lot of realistic things, and I believe in things that are not necessarily tangible. I don't necessarily believe in a God, but I believe that there's something out there. Maybe it is God. I'm more of a, I don't know what I don't know, right? I'm leaving myself open to the possibility of whatever. So, but practicing mindfulness, just sitting down every day, and thinking about 5 to 10 things that you're thankful for. Things that you're grateful for. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be big. Today, I was grateful for my fuzzy slippers because my feet were cold. I can be grateful for that. Not everybody has fuzzy slippers. My fuzzy slippers look like purple, pink, and blue monster feet. I love them. And they're very warm. And I look goofy walking around in them, but they're mine and I love them. So I'm thankful for that, right? I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for, many, many, many days. Coffee is on the very top of my thankful list. I am very thankful for coffee and my coffee maker on a regular basis. Every day, practically. It is on my list somewhere. So, excuse me. So, right? So think of this. And it actually helps your brain sort of be happier and be more grateful. You start seeing things from a different light. I've done posts before where I talk about positivity and seeing, and trying to be positive. The more positively you think, the more you think about the good things instead of the bad, the better your mood is, the better you feel. And I know that there's probably some of you out there who are like, that's just crap. Okay, I'm not saying that this is like a solution for depression or a solution for any legitimate issues that you or anybody may be facing. However, realistically, stop and think about it, okay? Realistically, stop and think and go, okay, when I stop and I focus on all of the negative and bad stuff in my life, how do I feel? How do I feel? How does that make me feel internally? It makes you feel crappy, right? The more you think about all the bad stuff, the crappier you feel. To the point that it's a physical feeling. It's not just a mental thing. It's I physically feel crappier. The more you think about good things, grateful things, things that you're grateful for, things that you are happy for, things that you appreciate, things that are positive in your life. And again, it doesn't have to be big. You wire your brain to think more positively, and I swear to you, you feel better. Again, it's not a cure-all fix for every issue you have, but isn't it better to start your day with a more positive, happy, grateful attitude than a everything sucks and I'm miserable attitude, right? And honestly, when you start that way and you continue to feel that way and you do it daily, again, try as best you can. It doesn't have to be in the morning. If you forget in the morning and you realize you forgot, take a second in the middle of your day on your lunch break. I'm thankful for my lunch. I'm thankful for my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It may be the only thing I had in my cabinet to eat for lunch, but I'm eating, right? I'm eating. I have something in my stomach. There are many people out there who are hungry right now, and I have food in front of me. It may not be the steak I wanted, but it is food, right? So again, thankful, and it changes the way you see things. The more positively you try and have an outlook in life, the easier it is a lot of times to deal with the negative things that come at you, right? I'm in a good mood. You ever have those days where you're like, I'm in a good mood. I'm happy, damn it. Nothing's going to get in the way of that. And something bad happens and you're like, I don't care. I'm happy. Today is my happy day. I'm happy. I don't care. Okay, let's handle it. What do we need to do? I'm happy. But if you're already miserable and you haven't taken that time to stop and think of all the things that you are happy for and grateful for and thankful for, and that positivity, like a morning positive charge, right? Then something bad happens. You're like, oh, great. That's just one more thing. What else can go wrong? Oh, look, one more thing. Oh, look, I'm late. Oh, great. One more thing, right? So it's a mental thing. And for some of you, you may be like, oh, whatever. I swear to you, it is a mental thing. You have to choose to be happy, choose to be thankful, choose to be grateful. Even if you think there's no reason to be grateful, you can find something. There is something. 5 things, 10 if you can do it, but at least 5. I'm grateful I got up in the morning. There's a lot of people in the world that didn't today. Even if that's it, right? I'm grateful that I have the chance to make this day how I want it to be. Okay? You can even go as far as, writing it down, keeping a journal, writing down the things that you're grateful every day before you go to bed, right? And think back on it every day. I'm grateful that this happened. I'm grateful I ran into Ted today and was able to have a really nice conversation with him. I'm grateful that my mom called and I was able to talk to her, because some people have lost their moms today, right? Whatever it may be, right? And express that. You can get out there and make people, share your gratitude, share your thankfulness, be the reason someone else is thankful, right? You want somebody to say, I ran into, you yesterday and you made me feel so good. You made me happy. And that makes you happy, right? Knowing that you're a positive influence on someone else is cool too. It really helps. I'm just telling you, and just be thankful for all of these things, because there are so many people out there who are struggling. And especially now, you think about it, there's all these people in California, and yes, a lot of them are really wealthy people, but it doesn't matter. They're still people, and they still lost all their stuff. They lost everything they own in the world. But they're alive, and they still get to, I've seen some really inspirational posts where they're like, yes, it's devastating. I've lost this, but I still have my family. I still have my wife. I still have my husband, my girlfriend, my boyfriend. I still have my pets, right? My horses were saved, right? We lost everything, but all of the things that are really, truly important, that are not just things, we still have. There are people who are losing their homes and everything they own right now in these fires in California. There are people who are starving on the other side of the world. There are people who are starving here in our country. There are people without homes who sleep. There are going to be hundreds of people who die this winter just from being out in the elements, from exposure, right? So stop and just remember that there are so many things to be thankful for every single day, not just on the days up to Thanksgiving. Every single day you should work on being thankful and grateful for multitudes of different things that are in your life. And you would be amazed and surprised at how quickly your view and your mentality and your mood will change the more you do this, right? There are some days where it's going to be really, really stupid hard. It's going to be really hard to come up with something to be thankful for. I know. I have those days where it just seems like everything sucks, everything is wrong, and it doesn't matter what you do, it's all gonna suck. You still, I guarantee you, can find 5 things to be thankful for. I am thankful for my children, that they are happy and healthy right now. I am thankful for the coffee in my mug that helped me get my ass in gear today. I am thankful for the job that I have. It may not be perfect, but it is a job, and there are many people out there who don't have jobs. I am thankful for the fuzzy slippers, right? I am thankful for the extra blankets that I had last night when it was really cold, because not everybody made it last night, right? Somebody out there froze. Somebody out there ended up succumbing to the weather, right? I am thankful for the house that I live in, and yes, the bills that I have to pay to maintain this house, I am thankful for those. Every time my bills come in the mail, I'm like, I used to be like, oh, great, more bills, joy. Like, that's what everybody does, right? Everybody's like, oh, yay, everything in my mailbox is a bill. Woohoo, yay. Instead, start being like, okay, thank you for these bills. I am thankful that I get to pay these bills, because it means that my lights are on, I have electricity, I have heat, I have running water, I have a roof over my head. That's important. I'm able to care for my family. Thank you. Thank you for the bills, right? Try it and do it. Make it a practice, and you would be surprised and amazed at how it will change your outlook on so many different things. It will be hard. Like I said, there's going to be days where it's just really difficult to do, but do it anyway. And just see if it makes a change. Even if it's a slight change, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just, I don't feel quite as yucky today as I did yesterday. That's progress. That's a step forward. So every day, not just on Thanksgiving, not just on Christmas, every day of your life, find something to be thankful for. And at this point, my voice is starting to sound terrible again, so I am going to cut it off now. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I hope that it helps you in some way. Please, I would love for you to start doing just this coming week, in the next few days, start doing it. Write down the things you're thankful for. Start doing this practice, and then come back and give me some feedback. Tell me how it's gone for you, right? What have you written down that you're thankful for, right? How has that helped? Did it improve your mood? Did it improve your outlook? I would love to really hear from you. So don't forget to go visit us at thesinglemomblog.com. leave a podcast comment there. You can leave a comment on any of our podcast streaming, and I get them. I love to hear them. So thank you so much. If you don't hear from me, I'm hoping that I'm going to continue to improve and not go downhill. I should be putting out another podcast soon, so you'll hear from me soon before the holiday. But if you don't hear any other podcasts before the holiday, I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks for joining me today for the Single Mom Success Podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it inspirational in some way. Don't forget to visit thesinglemomblog.com for more of our podcasts, articles, downloads, and free giveaways. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and never forget that you are amazing.